Alright, so in this video I'm going to be making a baby rocket, and we'll see how small it actually turns out to be, but I showed earlier these little jumping jacks. They're very tiny. I kind of try to simulate one and drilled some holes in it, put a little bit of clay in there, and then, cap the ends off, but I'm not sure how well that's going to end up working out. So shouldn't take long because this rocket is super tiny. I'm going to turn this guy into an inburner, so I don't want to use my core rocket tubing and all that to do anything different. I'm just going to pack a little clay into this guy, a little black powder. It's not going to take much. This guy is super tiny that I'm actually just have to get in kind of close to that just to kind of record that. So nice and flush clay plug, and I'll just be doing this to get an idea of how deep that plug is, which is barely nothing, so we're going to go and fill it up a little bit more. I want to make the nozzle at least a little thick, that way it doesn't just blow out. This is how I started off, doing 1/4-inch rockets with the hammer, and then I moved my way up to an arbor press, and then I have now this big press. But it's still fun to do these little baby rockets at times. Stuff, little projects like that, I enjoy it. I mean, I could just go out and buy some tooling for a a 1 pound, 3 pound rocket or something that's fun, but little baby stuff like this, if someone heard this thing go off, they wouldn't even know. If it hit your house, it wouldn't do any damage to it. This thing is just super small and is not very powerful to cause any damage. Obviously I wouldn't do it around people, but if I did it in my backyard or something and it flew up, it would just either take off straight or hit the fence or something, and I don't think this rocket's gonna have much of a burn time. Usually your 1/2-inch rockets get like a 1 to 2 second, and that's because the amount of propellant in it. This one has, if anything, a very tiny amount, so I don't think it's going to do anything. And it's halfway full, so probably do it a little bit more. Yeah, that's like 3/4, a little bit more than half, but I think I'll do one more increment, clay it off, put this guy together. I think that'll be it right there. Let's get this guy going. So, a little bit of clay. There we go, kind of pack that guy in there. And that's it. This will be the bottom. Go ahead and get this little fin guy going. Now we could probably glue him in, but because this fin set has a very tiny lip on it and the 1/4-inch slides right over it, it kind of locks it in place, which is nicely. And then let's take the nose cone. That slides into place too like that. I'd probably glue it or something, but I would say this is probably one of the smallest rockets I've seen on YouTube, and I think if this thing ends up even flying well, I think that'll be really cool. But who knows? I mean, it might actually fly well because it's small, and it might not, but that's the fun part about testing fireworks, because that's how you learn and you get better at making them. So this is a tiny little drill bit. This obviously isn't going to be large enough for any kind of fuse that you would use, but I'm sure I'd figure it out. The Chinese paper fuse actually fit in here very well, but End burner rockets are pretty fun too. Right there, see the black powder, and that's your nozzle right there. Let's try to get it as straight as possible. It's not going to be perfect, but the straighter the better. Obviously the rocket will fly a lot better. But then I'd get a little tiny piece of fuse. This is a little bit too big still. Yeah, so I may just step it up one more on the drill bit. I think we'll be fine with that. It'll be kind of a tight fit for the drill bit, but you know, good thing is I'm drilling a pilot hole, so it makes it that much easier to drill the second hole. Good thing about having the clay plug that way is it makes a really good solid compaction, and it actually holds up to the drill bit. And there you have it. I'll probably bend this into this guy right here like this. These holes are actually meant to hold the rocket in place with a what do you call it, like a launch stick or something, but sometimes I like using it for the fuse to kind of keep it in place, because the fins, the fuse will sometimes try to push the fins up and then it won't sit flush, but this rocket is relatively small. I think it'll be okay. And then I may have to trim that piece off right there because it's not fitting, but I think I got it. There we go. Get rid of that powder, and there you have it. The baby little tiny rocket. Let me do a side view so you can see it. So thanks for watching. This was just a little video to make a little rocket. Yeah, so we'll give it a test when I get a chance, and then I will go ahead and post that, and we'll see how well this little guy flies. And just to get a size comparison, this guy is about 2/4 probably in length, so it's like 1.5 inches maybe. But it's a very tiny little rocket though, and I think it looks really cool. If you were to do like a barrage of these, I think that would be really cool. Make like 15 of these or 20, and then set them all up to be fused to take off. I think if a company was to make something like this, and instead of it being like a moon traveler, just like a typical rocket on a stick, making something like this, I think this would be kind of cool to sell. You know, who knows? I mean, one day maybe I'll get a license and sell fireworks and make some cool stuff. But for now, this is a pretty cool little firework that I think looks interesting. All right, so I have my drone auto hovering above my house. Oh, baby rocket, and let's see what it'll do. Didn't even want to fly up, but it actually hit the wall. That was pretty funny. I mean, it flew. I guess that's the big thing. Anyways, that's it. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and until the next one.